Hi, everybody. Um, Today we're going to be just going through a custom order. I think at this point it's helpful to watch as I go through this. It's going to be a little time consuming, but you'll be able to see the process. Um, Today I have a client who had ordered this graphic from me before for her Teachers Pay Teachers branding, and she really loved it. But she went to my website recently and she saw that I had this cozy book blogger and decided that she wanted the more mature current style that I have. And she asked if I could do a semi-custom character. She liked a more mature face, and she really liked the hair of this character here. And she was going to keep the body and her accessories. So what we're going to do is the semi-custom. Now, the reason why I want to show you this is because I don't start custom orders now that I have an established portfolio. I don't start custom orders with a blank canvas usually. Um, if there is a character design and it's a female character design, I will take a image that I have done previously that is kind of close to what my client's looking for, and I will import sections of that illustration into the new character to save myself some time. And this has really streamlined my process. It's going to take you a long time if you start from the beginning with every project that you have. One of the reasons why I can do this is because I specialize in something specific, which is characters and predominantly female characters. So it's easy for me to do something like this. If I were to be specializing in something like logo design, then I wouldn't be able to take this kind of shortcut because I'd be creating completely new images every client. But because I'm doing this, and I'm in a niche and I have a specialization, I can really save myself some time. So what we're going to do, since this woman wants hair similar to the Cozy Book Blogger hair, it's a custom exclusive graphic, so obviously I'm not going to take this entire graphic and just change her up to be what my client wants her character to be upgraded to. But I will take the hair elements from her and maybe the glasses. So let's go in here. We're going to go to import. Find the folder. Go over to my Cozy Book Blogger. And I could import the PDF or the Corel Draw. So I'm just going to select the PDF. Sorry, sometimes this import takes a bit, but okay, here we go. And then press spacebar to place it down. I'm going to enlarge it to the size that I would need to fit my character over here. I'm specifically looking at the hair right now. Okay, that's about right. All right, I'll bring her over here so we've got some separation between the two. And what I'm going to do is remove the elements from this character that I don't need. So the coffee cup is going. Basically everything from the neck down is going to go. And then she liked eyes from other characters that I had also. Her eyes are blue. So I'm going to go in, find a character that I have blue eyes. I believe this one's blue. Yep, she's got blue eyes. So this is my sewing character. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to import this sewing character. Let's see. I don't remember where I put this. She's right here. There we go. Spacebar to place. Enlarging her so her eyes would fit approximately the same size. Okay, that looks just about right. And then again, I'm going to come down here and remove all the stuff that I'm not planning on using from this graphic. And I'm going to come over and switch out some of the facial features from this character to the new one. All right, so at this point, I'm thinking that we will keep this earring. I'm going to bring the hair over to this face. I'm going to keep these facial features over to the side in case I need them later, but I'm thinking that we're going to be keeping just these. All right, now that I'm looking at it, it's probably going to be easier to just drag these things over here. And it's not going to fit perfectly right off, so you're gonna have to go in and play around with the angle. It's easy if you have a group that you're working with. Whoops. While they're selected to, whoops. While they're selected to right click them and group them, because we're not making changes to this. That way we can move it around as a collective piece. And right now it's behind all of those layers, so. I'm going to move that to the front so you can see it. Okay, we're going to zoom in. And the angle of facial features are off a bit right now. So we're going to shift her. Okay. And it's important to adjust the chin if we need to adjust the chin a little bit, so that the shape of the face makes sense. Sometimes when you import a PDF file and place it down, it will import and then make the outline of shapes separate from the shape that you originally created with an outline command on there. Why it does this, I don't know, but that makes me angry. So we're going to just delete that, and I'll come back in and re-put the outline up there. Whoops. Making sure everything looks good. Alright, I like that cheek angle better. Okay, so we're going to see right here, this shape is separate from the outline of that shape. I don't know why it does, but we're going to add the outline back to this the way it should be. I'm going to guess it's 4 behind. Make sure it's the same color as the outline over here, which it is. 4 looks a little large, so we'll do it 2. That looks better. And then I'm going to take this outline that's separate down here and delete it. Get my attributes, eyedropper, click the face shape that we just added the correct outline to, and duplicate that on that layer. Okay. That's much better. Now, I still think that this is a little off with the angle, so we're going to play with this just a tad more. Okay, that looks about good to me. So I'm noticing that we need to go in here and bring this behind this piece of hair, and so the eyebrows behind the hair also. So there's a whole ton of layers over here. What we're going to do to make this easier, we're going to say to fit. We'll select all of these groups that we're working with, these layers that we're working with, and go order to front of page. Click OK. So now these are all on the same level. So this is all the layers that we need to work with. So if we have to move things around, we're not dealing with all of these over here. Alright, so we're going to zoom in one more time. Zoom in. Zoom in. Okay. Now we have our group face, and we're going to move it down till it gets below the hairs. That's way too far below. And that is perfect. It's above the face shadow, below the hairline. So that's good. Now we're going to ungroup it, because we notice that our cheek is overlaying past the outline, and we've lost our earring over here. So we're going to select the part where our earring is, right click it, order to front of page, move it up a little bit, and this we're going to double click. If you import something and all of a sudden you see that there's a symbol here instead of an object, that means that it just rasterized when it imported for some reason. So you can right click it and just click revert to objects, and then it will turn it back into an object. This only happens with fills, like gradient fills and transparencies. So sometimes it happens, whoop, sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't, but I didn't notice that it did happen here. And you can't edit it if it's that symbol. there, you have to change it back to an object. Okay. All right. So I'm going to blend this part just a little bit because it's got a tad bit of a line showing there. So we're going to blend this a little more. And come over here to this cheek. There we go. Okay. And the face, I think right now is looking how I want it to look. Over here we notice that it's tilted back a bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this head and we're going to come over here, delete the things I don't need. Actually, now that I'm looking at this, we don't need that. We don't need that. We don't need this. Okay, so we're going to swap out this head. Just delete the extras here. I don't need also. I'm going to use the glasses. So we'll put the glasses over here and just start removing these things. Okay, and I want the new eyes, I think, to be the color of the old eyes. So let's go over here, zoom into the eye. Whoops, a little too much. And take these glasses. I want these glasses. Delete all this stuff. See, as you can see, it's going very fast because it's mostly just cut and paste right now for what we're doing for this whole new character. So hopefully this gives you a little bit of an idea on how to save some time. All of these things are extra. My husband's downstairs with my kids trying to keep them occupied. So if you hear some background noise, sorry. He's doing a really good job with them down there though. Okay. Alright, so this eyeball, I want to be this blue color. I don't like working around a bunch of different shapes that I don't need. So we're deleting these as we go. Okay, so we're going to do the attributes. If I kept the outline here, I would just do the color eyedropper tool instead of the attributes because I don't want to bring the outline over here. But since the outline's not on this anymore, we're going to click it with the attributes. Click it over. And then on this one also. Perfect. Okay. Then the glasses. We're going to put on her cute little glasses. Let's group them together. Whoops, I saw something. Hold on. I saw something in the group. There's a tan piece. I don't need a tan piece, so let's get rid of that. Whatever that is hiding. Okay. And this is the tilt that the head was in for the other character. So I think we're going to group this together, her face together for the time being. and then bring the face over to the glasses and find the correct head tilt based on the glasses tilt. Now, seeing my transparencies aren't rendering correctly either on this, so I'm having a feeling they rasterized and they're that little symbol. So we'll come over here, we'll ungroup it. Nope, they're not the symbol, but they did lose their transparency. So let's go over here to the blend tool, transparency, uniform. Okay. And I think I want to bring them up a little bit so they're not so cartoony anymore. Make them a little less cartoony. Not so exaggerated. So we'll come over here and fix the shape of these. If you have tried to do a character design and you've done it from scratch, hopefully you're seeing how much of a time saver this is. In the very beginning, you're going to be making a ton of them from scratch until you get your portfolio established. Then you're going to be able to start picking things from what you've done in the past, and it's going to really speed up. I promise. It's frustrating in the beginning, so don't worry, it's not like that forever. If you have kind of a bumpy curve and it's giving you an issue, you can do a node on one side and a node on the other side and then delete the one in the middle, and that will smooth it right out. Kind of one of those little tricks. And if you have a part in here that there's just a small amount of color, I find it better to completely fill that in if you can, because those little spots of color that show through will look like a little bit of a pixel error when you have your graphics smaller on websites and stuff. You'll see like a white dot and you're not sure what that is, and it might be just a part of the background showing through a hair piece. If you can fill that in, that will make your graphics look cleaner when they're being used on a small scale. And see this, as I drag this over, it will tell me when I get to the edge of that glasses line, which is nice. See that little word edge show up? So it lets you know exactly when you're right on the right pixel to drop that, to line it up. And see, here's one of those little areas that has some color showing through. Just move that up a tad, get rid of that space. This is one of those areas that's uneven, that looks like it's a little bit of a pain to deal with, so I'm just coming in here and I put a note on either side of where the pain is. Then I'm going to remove that node, and then that is fixed. And I'm seeing something in here that's not fitting in well with my lines of the glasses. It's just kind of a little annoying shape in there. I know it's part of the eyelashes, but I'm going to get rid of that just to clean up. Whoops, ungroup. Just to clean up what I'm looking at. I don't need all those. There we go. There. Much cleaner. Okay. I come in here just again to look at this and see if it's curved the way I want. I see this one looks a little rounder than this one, so I might come in and pull it up a little bit more on the top. Round it out a tad more. This is just fine-tuning stuff that you don't want to rush this part, because your fine-tuning is what's going to make your characters look really professional. And just right here I see I moved it a tad, so now I need to come in and make sure that this is moved a tad too. Just scanning very closely to see what's going on. I can see a little bit of the lens on that side. This is when attention to detail really comes in. Right here too. Okay, and we need to bring the bottom of these glasses up to the edge. of the new lens location. Okay, I think she looks good. Her face looks good. So, yeah, you could come in here, move this down a bit. Okay. I could put in some shine on the glasses, a little bit of shine. I have a little already transparent circle that I might reuse, or since I have a transparent circle here with the lens, I could duplicate that. Make it smaller. Place it in the corner. Or underneath somewhere. Duplicate it again. That's cute. Duplicate it again, bring it over here, make it a little less long. That's just to give it a little bit of dimension. And on my characters, I am often putting little circles on their face here and there just to kind of give it a little shine also. Obviously I won't keep it pink. You could keep it pink, but make mine white. And then I give it a transparency of a uniform transparency. And then I'll duplicate that, bring that down here, make it smaller. And I'll use that as a little chin shine too. Make her nose a little bigger. There we go. So this just kind of gives a few other things to look at on the character. Since we have the glasses, I may not even do the cheek one. Just keep it like that. Yeah, I like that better. All right, so now we need to bring this character head over to the character body that we wanted to keep. And it looks very large right now, so we're going to bring it down to size. And bring it down where it should be. We're going to have to do some adjustments to the body too. This particular client wanted to keep the body the way that it was, but these hands are very cartoony, simple hands, and I think that since we went into so much detail with the new face, it's important to bring in some hands that coordinate with the new face style a little better. So we're going to group that again just to... I think that's a good spot for the head. This neck needs to be worked on a bit. Our pearls down here don't have that pink, so we're going to take that completely out. Just something I noticed quickly. All right, so now we need to decide if we're going to fix the color of the face to match the color of the body, or fix the color of the body to match the color of the face, vice versa. So what are we going to change? Are we going to change the color of the body, or are we going to change the color of the face? Right now I need to look for hands before we start worrying about that, but keep that in mind that if you use sections of other characters to build a new character, that you always make sure that the skin always ends up uniform. So right now, since we've done a lot of work, I don't want to lose this much work. So I'm going to select it and I'm going to save it. Okay, and I'm going to call it Character Upgrades. And I'm going to save it as a Corel file and save it as a PDF file. And as this is saving, okay, it's saved now, I'm going to, just now that I'm looking at this a little bit closer, I'm thinking this whole thing needs to be elongated just a tad. There we go, that's much better already, just to kind of give it a more mature shape, longer shape, instead of the short, condensed, cartoony figure was. Okay, now I'm feeling better. Now we need to find some hands, because these hands have to go. They're too simple. So let's go to our characters that we worked on before. Go to import. And let's see what characters. I have a character in here that's held a book. I think my juggling character would work. So let's see if we can find our Kim. You're going to know your your files inside and out because you'll be doing this. Here we go. Here's some hands that are a little better, a lot better actually. So we're going to import Kim. And we're going to take Kim's hands and put her on the new character. These are still simple hands, but they're longer fingers. They look more feminine, and they're in the shape that we need them to be in, most importantly. So I'm going to come in here and again erase all the stuff because I don't want the extra layers hanging around. last part of the arm. There we go. Take the bracelet off. We don't need the bracelet. Don't need this. Don't need those. Okay, and what we're going to do is flip her because we need her hands facing this way. And take the shirt off. And this part of the neck off. Don't need any of that. And noticing that this hand's a little small, put it a tiny bit bigger. Sometimes when you grab some images, you'll see that there's a little thing, like a little spot that's hiding. I don't know if you see that little node right there. It's telling me that there's a layer there. So there's a little hidden white spot there. We need to remove that. Don't want that. Okay. All right, so this apple we're going to place in her hand. And this book with the bookworm we're going to take and we're going to place in her hand over here. And then we're going to take these hands off, grab these new arms, bring them over, order them to the back of the page, group them together for now because it's a lot of things to move around at once, not grouped together. And going to downsize what we need. We're going to have to move the shirt around a little bit. Okay, I am getting happy with this. Okay, move the other arm. Whoops, it's more than an arm. I see this arm hanging out over here, so we're gonna bring this in. If you're still watching, kudos to you for sticking in here while we do this entire process. I know this is a long thing to watch. Hopefully you're getting some good tips along the way though, and learning from watching. That's always valuable. And as always, cleaning up extra nodes is important, especially if you're going to be selling on stock photos and other people are going to be editing your things. It's important not to have a bunch of extra nodes hanging around because it can be confusing for other artists to work with. So right now, all I'm really using this piece for is the neck. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to remove this whole area. I was trying to minimize it, but I think minimize it. I think it's just better to remove altogether. Okay. Send this to the back of the page again. Still seeing some shirt. Okay. All right, now that we have this, we're going to shift this shirt over a tad so it's not in the way of our arm. And then move the sleeves down. This is probably a time that you're going to want to come in here and zoom in. Right now I'm doing it rough, but I will zoom in a second to make sure everything's nice and clean and where I want it to be. I don't want the arm that close to this section of the jacket, so I'm going to end up moving the arm a tad. And I think I'm going to bring this one in a bit too. So we will be moving the jacket, or the arms after all. Okay, it still saved us a lot of time doing it this way. Okay, this is looking much better from a proportions perspective. I just want to come in and make sure that There are some clean shapes at the edge of these sleeves. Alright, I still see a little arm poking out, so we're going to move that. And these have to be along the same shape too. Lots of trucks going by today. You hear them, and motorcycles. It's nice and sunny out. Okay, I think this is good for a proof so far. We do have to do something else though. We remember that we need to, we have to make sure that the skin matches. So how are we going to do that? We're going to go in and we're going to make the body, well, first I'm going to go in here and round out these fingers a tad. Yeah, this needs fixing. This needs some TLC over here. Just a little bit. You could make all your fingers pointy and that's just your style. There's a great artist on Etsy who does that. She has really elongated fingers and they're all very pointy and it's very fashion forward style. And it's really cute. So if you like that, go for it. Okay, that's better. You could add cute little fingernails and stuff too if you wanted. I have clients who have requested that before. Alright, so this, I think we're going to go in here. We're going to lighten this up a bit. We have two different styles going on. We have the outline with the face and the solid on the inside. And we have that as also on the neck. And then over here on the hands, we have just the light solid with the layer behind it. That's a darker, that's giving it the shadow. Now, if I were to go in here and get the attributes and say, okay, I want this color to be brought over to my hand, you're going to see the outline where the shadow is. You should only see the outline here and then here on the other side of the darker one, which would be there if you put the attribute there also. But we don't want the line in the middle. So right now I have to make a decision. Either I only have the outline on the face and then make the face color the same as this color, or I have to get rid of or merge these two layers into one, and then I can add the outline to the hand, and that would make sense visually. I have an outline over here in the book. I think I prefer without the outlines on the hands, but since I have outlines other places in the image, I may just stick with it. So what I want to do first though is I think I want to make the face the original color of her character's face, which is that lighter color, and then the outline match the original outline we had for her color too. So this is going to take a little bit longer, but it's sticking to her more original branding, and I think it's important to stay with the color palette. So we have, now we can do the attribute tool make sure that the neck is the same width in outline as the face, and then we can come over here and we have to merge these layers so they become one. Or weld them, however, whatever you want to call it. So they're all the same colors now, one in one shape. So we're going to grab that skin color, bring it over here, grab the skin color, bring it over there. Now we have matching skin, but we have to go back in here and fix the other shades of her face to work well. Okay, so let's make sure that this color is the same as up here, which it is, but I think it's a little dark for my liking now that we changed the face shade. So we're going to lighten that up a bit and grab that color, bring it down to the neck shadow. Maybe bring it over to the ear shadow. I want the color attributes tool because I don't want the outline on the ear, so just the color, grabbing from the forehead. Okay, then we have to go into the fill for the cheeks and make sure that the outside peach or outside tan color is the same as the base of the face. And this one also. Sure that that's the base of the face. If you have to, this should be, yeah, 25, okay. If you have to lighten up the pink to match the new face color, go ahead and do that. I think we're all right with what I have now. And I'm looking for this little piece right in front of the eye. I need that to be the new face color also. Okay, and that's good for the face. And we have an updated character. We can go ahead and save this now. Character upgrades. Does it already exist? Yes. Can we replace it? Yes. And then I will go in and show you what I do to prepare the files as proof for the client. Okay. All right, so we have her proof saved. And if you remember what she looked like before, she looked quite different. I can pop in here and show you real quick the difference. This was her more cartoony looking, and this is her more upgraded to a more modern, mature, feminine character. Not so cartoony. So I think she'll be happy with that. So what we're going to do to send it off to her is open up our elements. I have Windows 8 and this is just, ugh. We're going to get our elements open, and hopefully you have a watermark. If you don't have an established business yet, then you don't need a watermark. But if you're planning on taking customs, definitely get a watermark. I have a video on how to place watermarks on images, but we're going to edit. My program asks me to push edit twice before it opens for some reason, but I have a grandma computer. Good thing about what I do is that it does not cost me a lot of money to run this business. I have the cheapest laptop imaginable, and I've been rocking it for a couple years. So there's no need to go out and spend thousands of dollars on a laptop. As long as you have enough memory for your program, you are good to go. Okay. Finally, all right, what I do for a preview image is I don't send a preview image very large. I send it enough so it could take up most of the space on a computer screen, so they can see the details, but it's not going to be super blown up like crazy large. Like if you put it on a 8-inch canvas, it would be massive, and they'd have to scroll around their computer screen to see the whole image and zoom out and all that stuff. So I find the ideal size for me to do, which is not super overwhelming, is between 600 pixels and 800 pixels. For this one, I'm just going to do 600. Resolution 300, transparency, it could be transparent, but because we're going to save it as PNG, which would make a white background anyway, but I'm just going to click white. RGB color, okay. And then from here, I'm going to go to File, Place, find our Rose, and find her Character Upgrades PDF. Place it on here. Press OK. Click OK. You can make it a little smaller if you don't want it touching the border. And then we're going to place the watermark that I have, because it's important to do watermarks on your proofs for your characters, for your clients. Because if you're sending them an image and they like the image and there's no watermark, they may keep that image to use, but then request a revision. Maybe they wanted a different color palette, and they'll try to squeeze a free image out of you. So I trust my clients, and I know that they most likely would not abuse my services that way. But I do also know that there are those kind of people out there who may take advantage of the opportunity of revisions if they think that they can get some free, different looking characters that are close to what they want. Maybe she'd say, oh, well, it's cute, but I don't want the apple, and she'll just get the character without the apple and maybe without the book, and add a text design to it, and should have new character. So it's important for me to put on a watermark, because if people want different versions, I'm happy to give it to them. But if I'm putting the work into it, I only think it's fair to be paid a little bit extra for providing them the extra versions. So that's why I place a watermark over. They get watermarked proofs until they say, yes, that's perfect, I want it like that, and then the project is finalized, and then I will send them their optimized files without the watermark once they finalize it. So that's kind of my routine with it. But once I put my watermark on there, I'll go to File, Save As, and save it in my clients folder. Under Rose. And save it as a JPG. And that's it. And then it's ready for me to pop into an email to her and then wait for her response. And with my customs, I offer 3 revision rounds that are optional. That's just what I do. But keep thinking about what you want your policies to read and what your policies will be about revisions, and make sure that you do put a limit on the number of revisions that you had. I have had a client in the past who requested 43 revisions, and that's before I had my policies set in place, and that was a nightmare, and I think she was enjoying it. So do your policies page before you start taking any customers at all. Oh my gosh. Okay. This completes this video. That was a long one. Thank you for watching, and I hope that it gave you some valuable learning tools for when you dive into customs and saves you some time. Bye, guys.